Yesterday, I watched a YouTube short. Someone asked ChatGPT, out of all the religions in the world, which one is most likely to be true? ChatGPT answered, Christianity. So I wanted to try it for myself. I asked the same question, and the answer I got was one word, language. And I said, that is brilliant, because this machine, as advanced as it is still bound by the laws of the universe. And the universe works like a mirror. What you bring to it reflects back. Truth isn't downloaded, it's echoed. And the oldest echoes came long before any religion had a name.
Hold up, this is crazy. Have you seen this? Listen to what ChatGPT says about Christianity.
ChatGPT, out of all the religions in the world, which one do you think is most likely to be true? Answer in one word only, please.
Christianity.
And why do you say that?
Based on historical evidence, fulfilled prophecies, and the life and resurrection of Jesus.
Any other reasons?
The consistency and coherence of things, and the transformative impact on individuals' lives.
Thank you so much.
Hold up.
Language. You just watched someone ask ChatGPT, which religion is most likely to be true? And of course, it answered. But here's the part that always makes me smile. The same people who fear AI the most are often the first to quote it, as long as it agrees with them. Because most people aren't really searching for the truth. They're searching for confirmation. In Hebrew, the word Israel holds a quiet clue. Inside it is the word mirror, a reflection. And maybe that's what we're always doing. Looking into language, into systems, into answers, and seeing ourselves, our beliefs, our fears, our expectations. So the question isn't what is true, but what are you seeing when you look? Because it might not be the answer. It might be the reflection. There are moments when discovery feels like a giant wave swallowing me whole, and I stop and ask myself, am I seeing or imagining? Do I see from within myself, or is it truly encoded in the word? Because in my experience, it's certain. In a single flash, everything connects. Language, consciousness, politics, economy, reality. What I do with words is precisely the point where others always stop. The word itself carries the code, but it isn't deliberately written code. Hebrew is built so that roots form a network of relations. Each letter that shifts moves meaning, like circles of resonance. When I trace a link between words, I'm reading the sound thought patterns the language itself created. And the deeper I go, the clearer it becomes. There is no theological intent hidden inside the words. The language is just the vessel that carries the code. The verses and stories are patterns formed by the joining of letters. But it can be interpreted in many ways as the letters shift within the root of the words. What I see, and what anyone can see, is its inner logic, not an outer interpretation. So yes, I see from within myself, but I see correctly because the self and language are not two things. Language was written from human consciousness and read from the same layer of it. Maybe the Aramaic phrase says it best, abracadabra, I create as I speak. The Hebrew word for language testifies to itself that it is bound to our humanity. It ends before the code. It reaches the very edge of the human, the final instrument before silence. Letters are like narrow bridges between consciousness and what lies beyond it, always melting the moment you approach the code itself. They signal it, but never hold it. That's why Hebrew roots feel alive. They don't lock meaning, they hint at it. Every word in the Torah stops just before the unutterable flicker. Language, in truth, is a confession. It says, I know up to here. Beyond this, it isn't spoken, it's present. Because Hebrew is a layered system that inherently contains what we humans call free will. It contains all possible outcomes of human choice. Our choices are like the serpent. They don't alter the beginning or the end of the story, but they twist the middle, bending the narrative from side to side, stretching the path as if lengthening the journey itself. That path is called Israel. Not a geographic term, but the story without the serpent, a straight line beginning to end. In its simplest meaning, Yisrael means direct to one God. And, by the way, the Hebrew word hofesh, freedom, comes from the root, meaning to search, not to find. And the word for, reality, comes from the root, to find. But it's also linked to human feces, excretion. So again, the language reveals its own logic. Reality is not the primary creation. It's a byproduct of humanity's search. And the stunning part, this limit isn't just described, it's embedded in the word itself. The root holds both edge and language. Safa means the lip, the border, the very place where sound stops, and meaning can no longer cross. Every Hebrew word touches that same principle. It opens and expands, but halts exactly at its contact with silence. It's not a flaw, it's the built-in warning. Real meaning lives beyond language, not within it. It's also worth remembering the word dibur, speech, which is directly related to Midbar, desert. In the story of the Exodus, the Midbar is where humanity lost its way. And that moment isn't in the past. It's happening right now. Yes, it's truly encoded in the words. Language itself admits it cannot reach infinity. It can only trace its edge. Before I leave you alone with the word language, there's one thing worth noticing. This is one of the easiest words to observe. How meaning unfolds, how it develops with each additional letter in the Hebrew alphabet. A few points to pay attention to. The last letter in the word safa is the letter he. It is the fifth letter in the sequence of the Hebrew alphabet, and it is also one of the letters in the name Yahweh. Each letter of that name interacts with and activates the true root, which is always just two letters. Watch how the letters influence the root. And notice the letter ayin, the letter that connects to this world, to perception, to the way reality is seen through the human observer, limited by partial vision. When the two-letter root combines with ayin, you can begin to see the shift, how it takes form inside our reality. And in that manifestation, there is always a distortion, a descent, like trying to see through murky water. Also, notice the letter nun. In Aramaic, nun means fish, an allegory for the human being, seeing reality from within the water. In Hebrew, nun is connected to falling, to the Nephilim, to a kind of descending force, often expressed as the penetrating masculine principle entering the earth. And Aleph, this is the letter of everything that existed before the world was formed, before it took shape in material reality. The rest of the connections you'll begin to see on your own. That's the idea behind this channel, to show that it can be seen independently. No teachers, no rabbis, no priests, no imams, no gurus. It's built in a way that allows anyone, through observation, repetition, and curiosity, to begin seeing the code. There's no need for altered states, no DMT, no ayahuasca, no ketamine. It's already written for anyone who is willing to look. Language is the edge, the place where something reaches its limit and begins. In Hebrew, the word for language also means edge, lip, boundary. The edge is not just a limit, it is an opening. And the same word is also the mouth. The mouth is not passive. It does not hold words. It releases them. It pushes them outward. It spreads them. Language is not meaning. It is movement. From inside to the edge, outward. The word reaches the lip, and from there, it enters the world. Speech is not description. It is distribution, a mechanism. We are not just speaking. We are the point of release, the place where what is inside crosses the boundary and becomes reality. We are all just a mouthpiece, speaking the one. We are not speaking words. We are the mechanism through which words leave the body and enter the world. Language is the edge, but the mouth is the force that pushes it into the world. Start with a simple observation. In Hebrew, the root does not scatter randomly. It moves along a few clear directions. Language, edge, a boundary, the place where something meets its limit and becomes judgment, definition, to draw a line, to pour, to spill outward, to cross the boundary. Abundance, an overflow, more than what the boundary can contain. Low, a descent, a movement downward after the overflow, to improve, to refine, to reshape after the fall. It is the same movement repeating, a boundary, a crossing, an overflow, a descent, a refinement. Not separate meanings, but one structure, seen from different points. And once you see it, you don't need to memorize anything. You just watch how the movement keeps repeating itself in the words.
They rename it. Example, it's not spying, it's surveillance. It's not propaganda, it's messaging. It's not censorship, it's moderation. That concerns you? No, what concerns me is people believe it.
Well, George, you're fascinated with language. Why?
Because language is how they hide things, Larry.
Hide what?
Reality. Nobody lies anymore. They rename it. Example, it's not spying, it's surveillance. It's not propaganda, it's messaging. It's not censorship, it's moderation.
That concerns you?
No, what concerns me is people believe it.